Okay, so I'm just going to talk you through how I made this logo type and some of the steps I took along the way, just figuring out the problems really. I was trying to come up with a way to use my initials to as some kind of a logo, and this is kind of where I started here. This guy right here, this orange W. Now I've translated this from another version of Illustrator because I'm just on this machine that I use to record the videos. So I'm not going to be showing you how to build anything. I'm just showing you how I did it, or just my process to get to the end. So I made this here, and I like the fact that I made the W just I made one rectangle and then I skewed it, and then I copied it the other way for these two, and then I shrunk it down for this one. So there's one, two, four lines used to make up the W, and then I just flipped it upside down to make the other one. And then what I had basically done was see this CD up here. I made this, and I kind of made that by going with just a rectangle, save it there. I curved the corners on it. I'm just going to swap those around, no outline. And then I've copied it, so I'm going to say Command C, Command V, there it is. Scale it down a bit. Sorry. Control Z and do that. I don't know why it's doing that. That's a weird one. All right, so what I'll do is I'll just make another shape inside it around those corners. I'll select both of them. I'll center them on each other. And I'm going to get a rectangle here in the middle and select all three, center, center. And then I'm going to use my shape builder in minus mode. So I'm going to hold the Alt key down, get rid of all these, get rid of these two. Then I was left with my C and my D. So that's kind of how I did this, you know. But then I was thinking, well, could I use these to kind of somehow make the W and the M? So what I did is I took this one, I'm going to Alt and drag, rotate it, Alt and drag to make a copy. So that was my W. Oh, Command Z. Alt and drag, rotate it. So I'm just going to combine those with the Pathfinder, same with these two. Pathfinder, and I just placed so I had these four elements. That became my logo. So it just made up of various elements of the same thing. But then I just started messing around with just different sizes, and I tried this option here, try and link them together. So I took the M, placed it there, and then the D went kind of here. Let's drop it there. So I was just trying to connect the two things together, you know. And that's kind of where I came up with it. Then I thought, well, maybe if I just went with the W and the M, what it gives me is this negative space wave here. So I just took that and put a circle around it, and that's how I came up with my logo. So that's it there. So then what I did was I went on to my next page. So I did white logo, colored background. So I just copied it a bunch of times and changed the colors. I'm just looking at the different color arrangements that I came up with. Then I copied the whole page over here, and instead of white in the center, I went with another kind of shade of the color that it already was for the most part, you know. So you can see a dark green with a lighter green, light green with an even lighter one, orange with a paler orange, that kind of stuff. So I was just trying those out. It's very, very quick to do, you know. And this one I went with a darker fill in the center. Then I just a whole lot and copied it across again. And if you look here, it's basically, so let's say this one. So I copied all of these over here, and then I just swapped the circle to have the same color outline and no inner section. So you see circle now has an outline the same color as the previous page. So we look at this one, it was a black circle, now it's a black outline. It was a green circle, now it's a green outline. An orange solid and a green outline. So that gave me a whole other bunch of options to do. And then I came back and I went again, copied them all across. Logo type has a stronger color than the previous page. So you can see this one is pretty much the same, but this one here is a stronger color, bringing it closer to this one. So I just kind of brought them a bit closer together in terms of the strength of the colors. And then over here, final logo variations. So I went with the blue and the orange, and then I tried out different versions of it here. And then I brought my final logo variations. So that's my final logo, and that's the blue. And I got that by, like, I choose this here, go to the fill. Well, you would see it normally if it was there. Like if I choose a color, if I eyedropper this maybe. Yeah, you can see there's the values for that color. So I'm just going to undo that. It's just the way this file has worked. So you can see there that I got the values from here. So I put in cyan 75, 0 magenta, 15 yellow, black 0. And I just use that as a way of, for a printer to know exactly what shade of blue this is. So there's my final logo in black and white, and my final logo reverse, a complementary color. So something that I can use, if I needed to print this on blue packaging, I might want a different color to do that with. So I went with a kind of complementary color, which is orange. And these are the values for that orange that I just took from here. Next step is I started putting it into environments. Now, forgive this kind of pink background. It was just substituting the font that I didn't have here, but it doesn't look like this. So I just mocked it up with some dummy text and some, and some text at the bottom. Then I made my business cards. Then I made my banner, which let me zoom out here. Then I went on to make other kind of promotional materials like I had a water bottle, I think, and a t-shirt and a cap and stuff like that, but they didn't translate across to this. But let's look at the process, okay? Now you would have a page of sketches here. Then I started building my logo and I settled on the final design, which is this red one. Not necessarily the color, but the layout. Then I tried solid backgrounds and white logos, page those, test those out. Then I tried solid backgrounds and a lighter color inside it. And this is just my process. This is just how I work. You might work differently, but this is a methodical process. Then I went with strong outlines and an empty circle, and then the light colors in the middle. Then I came down here and I went with darker colors with a dark circle outline. And these are my final logo variations that I settled on here. So I just tried out different combinations of my final two color combinations. Just tried them all out. So blue logo and blue outline, blue logo, orange outline, blue logo, orange fill, orange logo, blue outline, blue logo, orange background, blue outline, white, orange, blue. So I tried out a few different combinations of those three colors, blue, orange, and white, and I settled on this one. Just drew a little square with the same color, put in the little values beside it. I gave a black and white one, a reverse black and white one, and a final complementary color. And then I started putting it into the pieces. So this is my headed paper. This is my business card. This is my banner. Now the text hasn't come through the way I wanted it to, but it's okay. And then the other thing I did was the t-shirt and the water bottle and all of that stuff. And I just put it together that way. So that took me about an hour, I would say. This part took a bit of time because I was just, once I got this and I tried out the interlocking W and the M, then I was kind of away. This whole section, like visually speaking, the biggest chunk of it was easy because I copied one and just kept building it. Let me just make a page and I'll show you how I did it. So I got onto artboard. I'm just going to draw a box down here. I press enter on my keyboard and I'm going to tell that to be an A4. There it is. I'm just going to put it into position there. I'm going to use those guides to line it up. These are slightly different pages sizes, I think, from each other. So I'm going to take that. Actually, I'll just draw a circle to represent the logo. So there's my logo. All right, so what I do is I hold the Alt key down and I drag it down. You see that pink line? That tells me I've dragged it straight down. Next thing I do is, if you're on a PC, you press Control D. On a Mac, it's Command D. And that just duplicates it. Exactly the same space as the first one was moved, you know? So I'm going to drag that to there. Scale these down a bit. Now I'm going to take all four of them and I'm going to Alt and drag to here. And that tells me that it's straight and I duplicate it. Control D or Command D. Now I've got 12. So with my swatches close by, we'll load in swatch group, open swatch library. Let's go with default swatches, basic RGB. There they are. And what I do is I just pick a bunch of colors and just trying them out. Whatever it is, and I keep going. Then, let's say I go back to my artboard. This last one I selected is there, so I'm going to say Alt and drag. That drags out another one. Go back to my selection tool, and now I could take these and I could say, let's swap those all around. Oh, I can't do them in one go. But let's say that one, swap it around so that the outline is red. I think I can select them all. Try them out that way. No, I still have to do them one at a time. So it's a bit tedious, but it's better than drawing them all again each time, you know. And then when I did all of that, so in this one, I changed all the inner ones to a lighter version of whatever the outside color was. Then I copied this page over there, made changes to that one. Copied this page over to here, made changes to that one. So I wasn't redoing it all every time. Like you could do all of this now. If I go back to artboard, Alt and drag, Alt and drag. And you would have pages of these icons, and then you're just deciding, you know, on this page, you know, what am I getting? What's the rule on this page? So on this page, the rule was solid background, white logo. This page, the rule was solid background, lighter version of the background for the logo. This was white background, light interior. This was white background, darker interior. And this was the final page I decided on. So that's it. That's my process, you know. So once I would have sketches here, and then my rough work where I'm building a logo. This is the one I settled on. Now I'm copying over here, making my grid of 12. One color rule, another color rule, another one, another one, another one. Till I settle on it, and here it is. Then I start putting them into place, and then I'm done. Okay, thank you.